you don't know how to do your makeup? Watch the video and you will after this. You read the title. Let's get started. There are essential tools that you need when first starting your makeup. Of course, most importantly, your brushes. The 7 essential brushes are an angled eyeshadow brush, a highlight brush, a foundation brush, a contour brush, a powder brush, and an eyeshadow blending brush, and a dusting brush. And I also use a beauty sponge. So you're gonna need some foundation, and it is really important that you choose your shade. And you'll also need some concealer. And with the concealer, you're gonna wanna go about 1 shade lighter than your foundation, so it could give you some pop into your face and brighten your face up. You're also gonna wanna take some setting powder and then some contour powder and some highlight powder so you can brighten up your face some more. Some blush. You're going to need some lipstick, and I would suggest you guys choose the shade that best suits you. And you will also need some mascara and an eyebrow pencil. Usually what I do before applying foundation is I go ahead and moisturize my face. I realized that doing that, my foundation looks way more flawless. So what I start off doing first is that I go ahead and fill in my brows with my eyebrow pencil. I like to go ahead and outline my eyebrows first and then fill it in and then blend it out a little bit with a spoolie. Also, make sure that the shade of your pencil matches your eyebrow shade and it isn't too light or too dark. That will really affect the outcome of your eyebrows. And if you guys mess up, it is okay, because after we will go ahead and clean them up, so don't worry about it. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up your eyebrows with some concealer. The way I like to do it is that I like to apply like little dots of concealer around my eyebrows, and then we're just gonna blend it and shape our eyebrows. First, when you're doing your eyebrows, this is all gonna be to your preference, whether you like them a little thinner, a little thicker. It is up to you how you like them. And you guys, don't be like me and don't forget to clean up your eyebrows for any extra hair, because also that will affect the end result of your eyebrows and won't look as good. We're going to be moving on to foundation, and there's multiple ways of doing your foundation, whether it is a foundation brush, a makeup sponge, one of those silicone sponges, or your hands. Whatever works best for you is what you're going to want to go with. But me, I'm going to be using my beauty sponge for today. Now, if you're going to use a makeup sponge like me, I always dampen up my sponge because it gives you more of a flawless finish. So I like to take my foundation brush and dab it into my foundation and apply it to my face, but I like to blend it out with my blending sponge. Also, when I'm doing my foundation, I like to bring some down and blend it down to my neck, just so it doesn't look like I have a mask on. Make sure not to mess up your eyebrows while you're doing this, because I've made that mistake before and it's no bueno. So I wish I could show you guys when I first started doing my makeup. The very first time that I tried to do my makeup, I like borrowed my sister's makeup, and keep in mind she is like probably 5 shades lighter than me. So I tried to use her stuff for when it first became popular to like highlight and contour, but her highlighting shade was probably like super light. And I tried to do it on myself and I just looked like a freaking clown. It didn't turn out really nice, but I just kept practicing and got the correct shades for me, and now I know how to do it pretty good. Compared to that moment, it just was not good. So if you guys just keep on practicing, you guys will get there and you guys will learn how to do your makeup. Next, we're going to go ahead and brighten up our face with some concealer. And I would apply a little extra on your eyes right here if you have darker circles. So I'm going to be applying it to my under eyes, my forehead, and my chin, and a little bit on my nose, because then we're going to go ahead and contour our nose and we need it to brighten up. So a tip is, when you brighten up your face, when you apply concealer to your forehead, you want to apply, depending on the size of your forehead. If you have a smaller forehead, you want to apply more concealer because it'll make it appear a little bit bigger. But if you have like a bigger forehead, then you want to apply less and contour more, and it will give you like an effect of like a smaller forehead. All right, when you guys are applying concealer also to the under eye, don't apply too much because then it just looks too cakey and it's just too much. You don't need that much. Also, a tip I would give you guys when blending out with a beauty sponge is do light pats. Don't do it too hard, because then I feel like when you do it too hard, the sponge can lift up and soak in some of the product. So just keep that in mind. When blending the under eye, I feel like it is easier when you like look up. I feel like it opens up this area here and it's able to fit the sponge a little better. Go ahead and set our concealer. There are many ways of doing this. You can use a loose powder, like a translucent powder, or you can use the pressed powder, which I'm going to be doing today. So I like to take a powder brush, dip it into my setting powder, and then just apply it lightly. A tip that I would give you guys when setting your concealer is also take that powder and set right here on your eyelids, because if you don't, the foundation that you have on there and stuff is gonna get like all creased up and ugly. So you want to go ahead and set that area too, so it doesn't get all oily and it just looks really ugly if you don't. So I like to take the dusting brush and I like to go ahead and just dust off any excess powder that might be on there, just so I don't get like that cakey look.
You know, like a big ass booty.
Next, we're gonna give our face some dimension and some color. So we're gonna go ahead and bronze up our face. So you want to take your contour brush and dip it into your contour shade, and you want to apply this to your cheekbones, to your forehead, and to your chin area. You also want to contour your nose. You want to apply this lightly because you don't want to give yourself a big, just harsh line. I remember when I first started doing like bronzer and trying to conceal, I was doing it a little too low, and that was making my face look a little like kind of droopy. What I started doing to kind of figure out where to do the placement of this is I would do like that, and that kind of gives you like a little placement. I like to take some of that bronzing powder and add some to here because it kind of gives an illusion of like a bigger, fuller lip. When contouring my nose, I like to take an angled eyeshadow brush and a blending brush because it is smaller and you can really get it to be like detailed compared to like if I used a big brush like this. I like to do like a little V right here, and I like to shade in down here like this, and then just do 2 straight lines down. And then we're going to use the blending brush to blend that out. Try not to move this shade around too much. Try to keep it where you placed it. When you're blending this section out, try to keep it there, because if you blend it out like too much this way, it'll kind of give you like a wider nose look. And the whole point of contouring your nose is to make it look smaller, not bigger.
Oh my god, this is the tiniest little wiener I've ever seen. It's so...
That's like that's pretty average. I don't know what that's normal size.
So now that we gave our face some dimension and some color, I'm gonna go ahead and take my highlighter and we're gonna highlight the highlights of our face. So me personally, after I'm done applying my highlighter, I like to go in and blend it out with my sponge, just because I don't want it to look too crazy. But if you like the way it looks after applying it, you do you and leave it the way it is. I'm gonna be applying some blush. I personally like the way that the blush looks. If you're not really digging the blush, you don't have to add it. It's just my personal preference. Also, I would suggest getting blush shade that really complements your face, because I've gotten blushes that just didn't really look good on me, or it was too light and then like it just looked really ugly, or you just couldn't see it. So just look around for the blush that really complements your face. I'm gonna apply it right here where I applied that contour shade. I like to apply some mascara. One tip that I do have is I would try to hold your mirror down here, so you have to look downwards, because if you like do this, it's kind of easier for you to like mess up and apply some to your eyelid, and that's just gonna ruin the whole look, because sometimes it's really difficult to clean that up. For the last step, I'm going to be applying some liquid lipstick. I like to apply my foundation. Stupid. The way I like to apply my lipstick is I take the tip of the brush and then I kind of overline my lips, and then I go ahead and fill them in. And try to stay with the shape of your lips. Don't overline them. And that is it for the lips. That is like probably the easiest way that I found to apply my lipstick, rather than just. If you guys like today's video and want to stay up to date, go down below and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you guys can stay updated on more how-tos and tips and tricks for your makeup. And I'll see you guys next time.